kids that serve and have that experience of gratitude are 66% more likely to be considered flourishing, which there's a lot of criteria to flourishing, and one of them is just an overall perspective that is hopeful and optimistic for the future, and that's something our kids need. And when you show them a heart of service, a culture of service, you begin to see kids that learn to see beyond their own world. It expands their world, and it brings peacefulness to them, which is something we're wanting for our kids. Instead of this need to acquire, to accumulate, to just thinking about themselves, it really creates what we're hoping for our kids, and that is to learn to love others, experience gratitude, experience empathy. That forms a humble heart, and a humble heart is one that's close to Jesus.
Hey, look out. It's Faith Talk Today. I'm Rick Probst. A beautiful Atlanta weekend. Thanks for being with us. Hey, the doctor is in, and we love talking to him. Dr. Danny Huerta from Focus on the Family, Vice President of Parenting and Youth for Focus there, and he's got his own practice. He's been doing this for a long, long time. He is an expert. He's got a great book out. It came out in 2020, 7 Traits of Effective Parenting. We're going to talk about community service with your family and more in just a second. Now, if you're looking at Dr. Dan and you're saying, gosh, you look so relaxed and pumped at the same time, well, he just got back from Hawaii, and he's just trying to recover there. Doc, how are you?
Hey, doing well. Thank you, Rick. That's quite an intro, man. Yes.
Maybe next time you could wear that Hawaiian shirt and rub it in a bit, huh?
Yeah, maybe I'll do that next time. Yeah, I did get one there. It was a used shirt that I found at a kind of secondhand Aloha shirt place, and got my own now.
Love that. Well, I'm so glad that you and your family can go on just some rest and relaxation. And I think you went to a wedding or something, but you need it as full as your to-do list is every single day. Let me read this for the folks that may not know. Dr. Huerta maintains a practice in Colorado Springs since 2003. He's been at Focus since 2004. He and his wife, Heather, have been married almost 30 years, Doc. Where are you going on
close? I think we talked about going back to Hawaii. I mean, we went to graduation, and now anniversary would be fantastic to go there and visit again. We have friends there, and we absolutely love the island. Yeah,
I think you should.
Yeah.
Don't answer the phone.
That's right.
That's my counsel for you. Three teens, Alex, Alexi, and Macy. How they doing? How the kids doing?
They're doing really, really well. And actually, we have 2 kids. Macy was with us for a period of time, and that's a whole wonderful story for us. But she was my wife's cousin's daughter that we got to take into our home for a while, and she was our daughter for that time. And man, fantastic young lady. And then Lexi went with us on this trip. My son is getting married this year.
Wow.
He's in a couple months, he'll be a married man, and we're excited. They got their own place already that they are starting to fix up and getting ready for the day they get married and move in together as a couple on that day. And that's just so exciting for us as parents. And then our daughter is going to go to her first year of college.
My great.
She took 1 year off and now is ready to jump in, and we're excited to see her continue to grow as well.
I think a book should come up out of the brain of yours and the heart about parenting when your kids are out of the house, because that's a whole nother animal, isn't it?
It is. That's actually our second most frequently. It's our second most frequent call to our line on our counseling line here at Focus on the Family. It's a challenging one for many parents, especially in the landscape of today with so many different worldviews and competing opinions about political issues, spiritual issues, things like that. And so it's presented a big challenge for parents. And then you add to that the legalizing of marijuana and other things that have created disagreements, and there certainly is division in homes today.
I think that may be the Lord speaking to you. You could get that done and then go on the 30th to Hawaii. I think that would just be perfect.
I love the plan, Rick. I like it. Yeah.
Doc Dan with Focus on the Family, and in the 7 Traits of Effective Parenting, I love this, and then we'll get into community service with your family. Adaptability, respect, intentionality, love, boundaries, grace and forgiveness, and gratitude. Some really great stuff. Which ones do most people struggle with, you think, Doc?
The boundaries and limits. That's the hardest one because each child is so different, and
Yeah,
then you have two different personality or parenting styles in the parents, and so different opinions as to where the line truly is, and then different ways that parents tend to put boundaries on themselves. And one parent is usually more of the rule follower, the rule enforcer, and the other one is more of the hey, those are just kind of guidelines type of things, and they have uh more empathy towards the kids and they feel bad.
yeah.
The kids are going to feel bad. So, yeah, that's the toughest one for parents. And then with the busyness parents are having, I would say intentionality is a hard one, especially when it comes to the spiritual growth of their kids. It's a tough one. Parents are tired. In fact, Rick, recent studies showed that almost, I think it's 6 out of 10 parents are at the point of burnout. So it makes it hard to be intentional when you're at that point.
I know you find this surprising. Well, first of all, this is not surprising. I have 3 men now. They're not boys any longer. One married at 36, and 25 and 22.
Mm.
I'm usually the cool, laid back one, but I would always be the authoritarian and say, "Okay, you do that one more time, and you'll never ever see your Game Boy again." And and then my wife had to just her and I say, "Well, I think forever is a little bit."
It's a little much.
Yeah, yeah. But
That
you get to that point where you've just had enough. And I think I picked some of that up from my father. But parenting is not for the faint of heart, and we really appreciate all the all the experience that you've put together in your own life, and not just studying and reading, but effectively imparting that to in your own family and other parents. So it's a great book, folks. 20 is when it came out, 7 Traits of Effective Parenting. All right, let's talk about community service with
that's a
your.
big one.
When you say community service, what do you mean?
Yeah, it's just really serving other people around your community, and that could be your own family, learning how to serve one another in your home, and it begins with modeling that as a couple. If you're a married couple, to show that you're willing to serve each other, and then serving within your home, and really the ultimate goal is to openly serve outside of your home. So that's within your neighborhood, through your church. So many different opportunities out there to serve. They actually have what's called voluntourism now, where you take a trip as a family or as a couple to volunteer and to serve within a community that you go visit. And that's kind of a new thing in the last couple decades that people have been doing, and even more so with certain people having high values on or yeah, high values, high opinion, high desire to serve in certain ways, and they have the capacity to do so, and so they go and do that. But to keep it simple, through your church and your community, I mean, there's so many neighbors needing some help, even just with their yard, and
Yeah.
we gather up youth and say, "Hey guys, we're gonna take a weekend and we're just gonna serve our neighborhood." That's something you can do one weekend out of the 52 in a year, and you can see the benefits exponentially grow from there. And many times you don't feel like doing it, Rick. You're going, "Man, we're so tired. We have so much to do," and you don't
Mhm.
feel like doing it. And then when you show up and you do it, you begin to see how your emotions respond to the fact that you're serving another person without any benefit to yourself, really, that the goal isn't for your own benefit, but really to benefit others, and you begin to see the benefits that you get from that anyway.
Enjoying Faith Talk Today, make sure that you click the subscribe button to our YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up. How's that? Yeah, and help us reach more people, will you? And catch the full audio podcast wherever you listen. Just search Faith Talk Today. New episodes get dropped every Monday morning. So thanks for listening. Now back to the conversation. Talk about those that are receiving those benefits and how it touches their world, and those that are actually doing the work and it touches them as well.
Yeah, what I've noticed, I took a group, my wife and I took a group of teens. They needed to do some hours of service through their school, and we looked we sent out a message to all the neighbors in the area, and then served for a day. And what I noticed was, kids seem more peaceful throughout the day. There was more work and more work, but you could see a sense of happiness and well-being and thriving in these kids where they're excited to do the next thing and the next thing. But when we started, they didn't look as excited. And by the end, you could see that there were a lot of benefits. One of them is empathy. The other one is just when you serve as a group, you bond closer, so you experience that closeness with somebody else. And so when you do that, you're also tackling this loneliness epidemic that kids are feeling. So if you do it as a group, you're able to experience the oxytocin release, and that's that bonding hormone release that makes you feel really good. There's a dopamine release as well, which is something that the phones and other things have hijacked. But this is but this is something that can actually have that release similar to other things that feel good to you. And then the other one is the empathy development for kids is incredible. Where they, when you do practice that empathy, it helps you in your overall mental well-being, but learning to want to serve again. It your brain actually says, "Hey, let's do that again whenever we can find another opportunity." And so you're beginning to create a culture of serving. And in fact, 2, 3 years later, after the time we served as a group within the neighborhood, kids were still talking about it and saying, "Hey, remember when we did that one, when we went to that yard and that yard," and they could vividly remember that. And there were other things they could not remember well. So clearly, dopamine was released, which helps you remember things. And so for kids, if you're making certain memories that create a sense of well-being and thriving and having had a sense of satisfaction and contentment with life, the more you serve and create that pattern, even if it's annual or quarterly, you will begin to see those benefits of remembering together as a family, the bonding it creates, but overall the well-being. So God has created this within our bodies to serve one another and to fulfill some deep needed, or some deep benefits that we get within ourselves as human beings. And so just know, most of the time, most people will say they don't feel like it before you go to do the volunteer, the serving. Some people do; they're excited to do it, but a lot of kids, you have to
Yeah.
bring them to it. And once they're there, and their attitude begins to shift and they experience the bonding and all the benefits with it, you'll hear them say, "Hey, when can we do that again? That was great." And they love it. Feed My Starving Children is a great opportunity within your community. Here at Focus on the Family, through our Wait No More program, we have what's called a suitcase bundle packing party that you can do as a church
Hmm.
or as a family, and it's for foster children. Many foster children show up to their new home with all their belongings in a trash bag.
Hmm.
And the idea of this is to get a suitcase ready for that foster child with a teddy bear, a Bible, and some other personal things in there, personal hygiene things that are given to them as a gift to show them dignity and to show them honor as a person, as a human being. And so, as a church, you can pack uh, hundreds of these for your local Department of Human Services. And so you can learn more about that through our Wait No More program. It's a great way for the church to serve the community and for the family to begin to think about those kids that are having to be in a foster home and are needing to adjust to big things in their lives that they didn't have choice over.
That was, I would have never thought of that. Just, just not even on my radar. Uh, but it's so true, right? Yeah. Or on focusonthefamily.com. There's some more resources there, and you can do it individuals, youth groups, just whatever. But I would assume that the gratitude level goes up
Yeah.
once you get through that. Your gratitude amps up.
It does, and I'm glad you're pointing that out because that is so beneficial to the brain, the body. Science is affirming that. The Bible had already talked about it, for the last 2 millennia. But we get a tremendous amount of boost, and what they've seen is that kids that serve and have that experience of gratitude are 66% more likely to be considered flourishing, which there's a lot of criteria to flourishing. And one of them is just an overall perspective that is hopeful and optimistic for the future. And that's something our kids need. And when you show them a heart of service, a culture of service, you begin to see kids that learn to see beyond their own world. It expands their world and it brings peacefulness to them, which is something we're wanting for our kids instead of this need to acquire, to accumulate, to just thinking about themselves. It really creates what we're hoping for our kids, and that is to learn to love others, experience gratitude, experience empathy. That forms a humble heart, and a humble heart is one that's close to Jesus.
Always so good. Dr. Danny Huerta from Focus on the Family. Doc, we love you. We appreciate all that you've done for so many, and you continue to do that. We'd love to have you back. You're always a great guest. It seems like the time flies and we run out. Got to change that because we need to dig more into that brain. And I know you're going to be really busy writing that book, so we need to get scheduled right now. And then after that is, of course, that huge Hawaii trip for him and Heather's 30th.
Right.
30 years, man. 30.
Yes. Woo. 30 years. Love it. Love it.
I've got
Yeah.
42 under my belt and
Nice, right.
just loving it. Good stuff. Hey, we appreciate you so much. Thanks, Doc. We
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much. Rick. Good to be with you. God bless you, man.
God bless you. Check out the resources there on focusonthefamily.com. You can also, don't forget about the book we talked about earlier. That's 7 Traits of Effective Parenting, and that can help you no matter what age your children are. It is good stuff. Hey, next week, another great guest. I hope you have a great week. I'm Rick Probst. This is Faith Talk Today. See ya. Hey, that's it for this episode of Faith Talk Today, but wait. There is more. You can go ahead and click the next video and keep watching videos and share them. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to the Faith Talk Today podcast. And we'd love to connect with you online. Just follow us at Faith Talk Atlanta. We're on all the socials. Hey, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Faith Talk Today.